Realizing that, oh, the Stanford University is offering you a scholarship to come play football for them. It was just an amazing feeling. And having my grandfather right there in the hospital, my family and my mom, I started crying. And that's like the only offer I cried about. That day I'll never forget. I mean, coming in as a freshman, it's like, wait a second, I'm gonna be putting a football game on the first game of the season. I'm like, I keep a cool face on the outside. We get to the game day, we're first quarter, second quarter, third quarter go by. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting in the game. And then we're like 5 minutes down in the fourth quarter, definitely not getting in the game. And so I'm in the back, and I'm just like, okay, let's go, keep it up. We have the lead. Let's beat Northwestern. I find out someone goes down, and I'm thinking to myself, who went down? Like, I'm like, I hope they're okay and whatnot. I find out it's an old lineman. And then I find out it's Walker Little. And this is what went through my head when I found out it was Walker. I was like, Walker, who goes in for him? Yeah, and I'm serious, I'm thinking. And as soon as I realized, I was like, that's you. Like in my head, I'm like, that's you, fool. Like, that's you, you're going in. So I'm running the field. I'm like, I'm trying to get past, I'm in the back, I'm like, excuse me. From there on out, I just, started every game since. And I thought Walker was going to come back like week 4. I was like, okay, just tough it out to week 4, week 5, you'll be fine. And Walker's going to come back, you'll be great. But then Walker's out for the season. The season? You mean you want me to play the rest of the season? And I'm like, okay, here we go, let's do this. And then from there, I just never looked back. And she's really just been with me from, literally day one since I was born. And she's been with me every step of the way. At Stanford, and me playing the game, and, I don't think she realized at the time, because she had her head down when I started running on the field. And they're like, Hannah, your son, he get in the game. And he's like, whose son? Your son. And she's like, what? And then like all these like, oh my God, is he gonna get hurt? What's gonna happen? Is he gonna be okay? And she's like, doing this as I'm playing on the field and whatnot, and that whole freshman year is just like, oh my God, he's a freshman, he's from Cibolo, he doesn't, they don't play football at Cibolo, like this is college football, like what's gonna happen? She's gotten a lot better with me being on the field now, not being a freshman, having more experience. And my mom, signed off first, and then my dad was a little bit more like, no, he's not doing it. But once he got on board, because he was like, my son, basketball player, is gonna be a top 50 player in the country, or in DC and Maryland. And then went to football. After he realized I could be good at football, I'm like, oh my God, my son pretty good. He in his Facebook group or whatnot, or his friends, he's always posting like, this is my son. He's just so proud of me and whatnot. And it's just the type of love that he had for me, and I hope I can have that for my own children one day. He was actually supposed to come see me for a game, and I was excited for him to come out. I was like, he's gonna see me play on the football field the first time. And something happened where, they couldn't come out. He had to do something, an appointment he couldn't miss. That's one of the things, that conversation that we had, I often look back on that thinking, just like, little did I know that he would never see me play in person. When he was first taken to the hospital, he was fine. Like, nothing's gonna affect him. Like, he's always, he's never been in the hospital before. When he has been, he's just come out and was like, I'm good and whatnot. So, I said like, okay, he's fine. I just, you see these things happen to other people, and you never think that it could happen to yourself or to your family. And I was just in disbelief until I actually saw him, and by then I just like, it was over. I just, broke down, and it was just. I think I cried for at least like 3 hours straight, and I just couldn't believe it. And then all these thoughts going in my head, like so many regrets or things I wish I had done, and all this time I thought that we would have together, it was just gone in the blink of an eye.
And we're getting a breakdown from a guy who's being recognized as one of the top scholar athletes in America. He's a finalist for the Campbell Trophy. Walter Rouse, break it!
Coach brought everyone up, and he said, this guy is a William Campbell Trophy Finalist. And as soon as he said that, I was like, he's talking about me. And like in my head, like I have like when it happened, I think there's a video out there. Like I had no facial reaction because I'm still. It's still just processing in my head. It just happened so fast. And he's like, Walter Rouse, break us down. And then I'm just like, oh snap. Just from there on out, like, you know, from the breakdown with coach and the rest of the practice, you know, calling my mom and telling her about it. And, you know, I kind of messed with her a little bit. I acted as if like something was wrong. I was like, Ma, are you sitting down? Something's wrong, something's not okay. And then I just read the letter to her. And then, you know, as I was reading, you could hear, you know, she started crying, especially, you know, hearing about like, oh, like, you know, the stuff I would be awarded and just becoming a finalist and, you know, having that, you know, that feeling, oh, I did all this hard work and like I'm being, you know, recognized for it and like it's paying off, you know. People are seeing that, you know, you may not have the best, you know, grades out of everybody, but they understand and they see your hard work and they realize that what you're doing is not going unnoticed and that, you know, just like, you know, all I can really come back down to say is this hard work pays off. And really just as long as you just have that mindset, there's no telling what you can do. There's nothing too big that, you know, if you have something, do it. If you imagine that you can do something, don't let anyone tell you that it's impossible.